whenever you're ready, we can start.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. The Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad group again welcomes everyone again to the weekly Harikatha. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. So before we begin, we'd like to have our important announcements for this upcoming week. The incorporation of the first ISKCON temple was done on July 30th, 1966 at 26th 2nd Avenue, New York City. A few sympathetic, interested people gathered in a small downtown storefront to help an Indian Swami's mission by adding their signature to a legal document. Wednesday, August 4th is Kamika Ekadashi, so please fast from beets and grains. And Thursday, August 5th is Dwadashi Paran. The breaking of Ekadashi fast time is from 6:11 a.m. to 7:42 a.m. Toronto time. And also, as all of you know, Saturday, August 7th at 11 a.m. is the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Group picnic. And the picnic location is Charles Daly Park in Jordan, Ontario, Niagara region. So you can exit 55 on QEW and take the North Service Road. It's about 3 kilometers to Charles Daly Park. And the picnic starts at 11 a.m. In order to get the desired parking, please be on time. Also, devotees are requested to bring their own folding and beach chairs and water bottles. And there will be Sattvic Prasadam, vegetarian sanctified foodstuffs without onion or garlic will be provided to all. And looking forward to your association in person. And please maintain all COVID-related social protocol for your safety and safety of all. And the highlights of the picnic are prasadam, snacks, lunch, and supper, kirtan and katha. There'll be games, spiritual quiz, and a special surprise show for the kids, and much more in the association of devotees. And thanks who have RSVP'd. We'll provide additional information regarding the picnic to those who have RSVP'd. For past programs and lectures, please visit bhagavad.ca or pureseva.ca. So before we start, I'll just have a quick update on the last session that His Grace Satchitananda Dasa Prabhuji gave on Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. So Prabhuji reiterated about the explanation about Sambandha, Avidya, and Prayojan. And we must know what is our relationship with God, and if we act according to that relationship, then our aim of life is fulfilled. Sambandha, Abhidya, and Prayojan. Sambandha means relationships, Abhidya means the activities, and the Prayojan means the ultimate goal of life. The living entity is an eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When one is convinced about his relationship, which is called Sambandha, then he acts accordingly. And this is called Abhidya. The next step is Prayojana, or fulfillment of the ultimate goal of one's life. If one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and act accordingly, ultimately mission his life in fulfilled. And then Prabhuji also talked about the Kunja Leela, which is one of the many ways in which Srimati Radharani pleases Krishna by entering into the loving stage called Man. So thank you, Prabhuji, for these nice sessions. And today, now we'll request His Grace Satchitananda Das Prabhuji to kindly commence today's session, which will be week 22, and the explanation will be for verse number 8. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Today's bhajan glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glorifying Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, the intimate associates of Mahaprabhu. This week we saw the appearances of Gopal Bhatta Goswami and Loknath Goswami. Very important to beg for the association of Vaishnava Acharyas. Narottam Das Thakur, who has composed this bhajan from the book known as Prarthana, Sri Gaur Pad Padme Prarthana, a prayer at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, this song was written on the disappearance of Srila Ramachandra Kaviraj, one of the god nephews of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. Out of acute separation, he remembers right from Mahaprabhu to begging the association of Ramchandra Kaviraj. So in this mood of this bhajan, we should also desire pure association. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Karo More, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Karo More, Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsara তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালু জগত সংসার श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दया करो मोरे तोमा बिना के जगत संसारे तोमा बिना के दयालु जगत संसारे तोमा बिना के दयालु जगत संसार पतिता पावन हेतु तव अवतार पतिता पावन हेतु तव अवतार मोसमा पतिता प्रभु मोसमा पतित प्रभु मोसमा पतित प्रभु न पाई समापतिता प्रभु न पाई गया प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा बलोकाना करो प्रभु नित्यानंद कृपा बलोकाना करो आमी मोर दुखी कृपा बलोकाना करो आमी मोर दुखी दया करो हरि बोल दया करो सीतापति अद्वैता गोसाई दया करो सीतापति अद्वैता गोसाई तव कृपा बोले पाई चैतन्य निताय Chaitanya Nitai Tava Kripa Bale Ai Chaitanya Nitai Gaura Prema Maya Tane Pandit Gadadhara Gaura Prema Maya Tane Pandit Gadadhara Srinivasa Hari Dasa Doyara Sagar Srinivasa Hari Dasa Doyara Sagar Srinivasa Hari Dasa Doyara Sagar Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Bhatta Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanath Prabhu Lokanath Bhatta Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanath Bhatta Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanath Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangam Mange Ramachandra Sangamange Ramachandra Sangamange Narottama Das Vaishnave Rasanga Mange Adhama Das Vaishnave Rasanga Mange Adhama Das Vaishnavariya Vaishnavera Sangamange Adhama Dasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Karo Shri Krishna Chaitanya jagata samsare toma vina keda yalu jagata samsare ha gauranga ha gauranga ha gauranga nityananda पतित पावन तुमी गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय सच्चिनंदन गौरहरि जय सच्चिनंदन गौरहरि पतिता पावन गौरहरि पतिता पावन गौरहरि हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे remembering our wonderful Aindra Prabhu in Sri Vrindavan Dham, who was instrumental in Akhanda Kirtan, and this beautiful melody, it is his composition. A pure devotee and a wonderful disciple of his divine grace Srila Prabhupada, attached so much to the holy name. We are at the moment trying to understand and the glories of the holy name. But by chanting the holy name itself will give us that result someday. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe Radhe, Jayatam Suratopanga Mama Mandamate Gati Matsarvasva Padam Bhojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranya Kalpadhruma Srimat Ratnangada Simhasanasto Shri Srila Radha Govinda Deva Preshkali Sevya Manasmarami Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radhe Radhe, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Radhe Radhe. Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamshi Vata Astitaha Karshane Swaner Venur Gopi Shri Gopina Astuna Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Radhe Jaya Radha गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे राधे जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे राधे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे हे राधे जय ललिता विशाखा राधे श्याम राधे राधे जय ललिता विशाखा राधा सुंदर राधे राधे जय ललिता विशाखा राधा श्याम राधे राधे जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय 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 जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा कदाचित् कालिन्दी तट विपिन संगीत तरवो मुदाभिरी नारी कमल स्वाद मधुप मुदाभिरी नारी कमल स्वाद मधुप रमा शंभु ब्रह्मा गणेश रचिता जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भवतु ओ जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भवतु ओ जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी नयन पथगामी भवतु नमस्ये गिरिराजाय गोवर्धन नामिने प्रणत क्लेश नाशाय परमानंद दायिने जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद जय 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 गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा वंदे गुरु श्री चरणारविंदं वंदे गुरु श्री चरणारविंदं संसार दावा नललीलोका त्रणाय कारुण्य घनागनाकं प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवास्य वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदं यस्या प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्या प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि यस्या प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि धयांस्तु वांश्च यस्य स्त्री संज्ञा वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदं वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदं ओ वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदं ओ वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदं श्री चैतन्य शिष्टाष्टकम चेतो दर्पण मार्जनं भवमहदावाग्नि निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरव चन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधू जीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधि प्रतिपदं पूर्णमृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपन्नं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनं नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पित नियमेक स्मरणेन कालम् एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममयापि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् इह जानिनानुरागा दुर्दैवमीदृशम् इह जानिनानुरागा त्रिनादपि सुनिचेना करोइव स विष्णुना अमाने मान देना कीर्तन्या सदा नादनं न जानन् न सुन्दरीं कविता वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनि ईश्वरे भवतादहैतुकी भक्तिरहैतुकी अयि नन्दतनूजा किं कारो पतिता मामवेश तव पाद पङ्कजस्थितधूलिं सदृशं विचिन्तया कृपया तव पाद पङ्कजस्थितधूलिं कृपया तव पाद पङ्कजस्थितधूलिं नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदन गद्गुदरा गिरा पुलकीर्णिचितं वपुकदा तव नाम युगायितं निमीषेण चक्षुषा प्रवश्यायितं शुनायितं सर्वं जगत गोविन्द विरहेण मे शुनायितं सर्व जगत सर्वं गोविन्द विरहेण मे आश्लिषपादर कामपि नष्टु माम् अदर्शनं मर्म हर्तो करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विधातो लम्पतो मत प्राणनाथस्य एव परः ओ मत प्राणनाथस्य एव न परः ओ मत प्राणनाथस्य एव न परः श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टकम की जय। आराध्यो भगवान व्रजेषु तनयस् तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्या काचिदुपासना व्रजवधूवर्गेण तया कल्पिता श्रीमद् भागवत पुराणयमनं प्रेम पुमार्थो महान् श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु मतेदं नायत्रयाग्रहरः वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नवनीरद निन्दितकान्तिधरं रसोसागर नागर भूपवरं शुभवङ्किमचारु शिखण्डशिखिं भज कृष्णनिधिं व्रजराजसुतं भज कृष्णनिधिं व्रजराजसुतं राधिका सरोदिन्दो निन्दिमुखा मण्डली वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानु नन्दिनी ओ वन्द्ये श्रीपादपद्म वृषभानु नन्दिनी श्रियकान्तः कान्तः परमपुरुषः कल्पतरो ध्रुमा भूमिश्चिन्ता मणिगण मयि तोयममृतम् तथा गानं नाट्यं गमनपि च वंशी प्रियसखी चिदानन्द ज्योतिः परमपि तदा स्वाद्यमपि च स यत्र क्षीराब्धिसुरभिभ्यश्च सुमहा निमेषात् धाख्यो वा व्रजति न यत्रापि समयः भजे श्वेतदीपं तमहमिह गोलोकमितियं विदन्तस्ते सन्तः क्षितिविरलचारः कतिपय। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Once again, welcome to the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Group. Today is Sunday, the August 1st, 2021. Amazing. Time just flies. We are already entered the 8th month of this year. That is the nature of the material world, where time does not stand still. But in the last shloka that I recited from the Brahma Samhita, in the spiritual world, in that domain, there is no time decay. Nimeshardhakyo va vrajati na yatrapi samayah bhaje shveta deepam tamahamiha golokamitiyam vidantaste santah shiti viralachara katipaye. That domain known as Golok, that Shwet Deep, that beautiful, most effulgent planet in the spiritual world known as Golok Vrindavan, where time comes to a standstill. Everything is now. There is no decay. It is not subject to the material conditions in this material world where time takes a toll of everything. The moment we are born, Srila Prabhupada says that every second we are dying. We are closer to our death. Is it not true? But hardly we ponder upon these things. So, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's Divine Gurudev, we have these two great personalities displayed on our Bhakti Vedanta Bhagavad group. Rather, it is their group. We are just small instruments trying to follow their instructions, presenting everything as it is. Bhagavad means the book Bhagavad, and Bhagavad means the person Bhagavad. So these personalities of Bhagavad, they are indeed the ones. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada said that a gentleman doesn't stay in this material world. It is just like a toilet. How much time does a person really want to stay in a toilet? You finish your job and you get out of it. Similarly, that is the instruction of the great souls. This material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. It is full of miseries. Dukkhalayam. Alayam means an ocean. Ashashvatam. and it is temporary. Whereas Golok, or the spiritual world, is permanent and it is not subject to time decay. So Lord Brahma himself, he offers his obeisances, Bhaje Shweta Deepam Tamaham Iha Golokamitiyam, unto that planet Golok Vrindavan, where the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nanda Nandan Sri Krishna, he resides along with Vrishabhanu Nandini, Radharani, and their most intimate associates. They are residing there. They're waiting to welcome us back into their arms simply by following in the footsteps of those great devotees coming in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And how wonderful it is that by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of the Gaudiya Acharyas, we have received the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is our 22nd week in the Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, which is the summum bonum of pure bhakti, the summum bonum of Srimad Bhagavatam, the summum bonum of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the summum bonum of all the pure Vedic literatures, the summum bonum of pure bhakti, the summum bonum of bhakti personified Srimati Radharani. At the end, this is the conclusion, that the most secret conclusion that is being that is being displayed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, starting from the verse number 7 and verse number 8 of the Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. We are most fortunate to be in this line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Every day I think, what must have I done, or what kind of ahituki kripa that I must have received from some Vaishnavas, perhaps in my past life and in this life. Ahituki means, hetu means with some motive, and ahituki means without any motive. So sometimes we receive even mercy without anything good done in our lives or in our past lives. Just out of pure goodness, that mercy is bestowed upon us. So sometimes I ponder what kind of ahituki bhakti or what kind of ahituki kripa, that we have received, that we have been admitted into this highest school of theism. There is nothing beyond this, my dear devotees. And it is not a question of sentimentalism. It is a question of careful analysis, especially those who are spiritualists or inclined to understand spirituality. Then we can with our intelligence and with the good Lord situated in our heart, dadami buddhi yogam jena mam upayanti te, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that I will give you those instructions because I'm seated in your heart, how to come to me. And also along with that, he cautions us, ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamiham. According to one person's devotion, or one how the person worships me, I reciprocate accordingly. So we all have different needs in our existence, if I may say so. We all have different needs. Just like, let's say, if we take if we uh, a quick observation in our personal lives. Let's say we may have 2 3 siblings in our family, and cousins, and etc. And right from our childhood we played with them, and we grew up with them, and we had the same grandfathers and the same grandmothers, and and we shared the same festivals and everything. And every individual in that household, or in our household as we even speak, this reality is there. We all have different needs. Our needs are different. One of the cousins may want to become a doctor. Since his childhood, he would say, when any parental or any adult person would ask, what would you become when you become a big boy? I want to become a doctor. So his aspirations are set. Somebody would say, I would like to become a pilot. Somebody would say, I would like to become a policeman. So everybody has different aspirations. Because all the individuals have free, minute independence that will determine our desires, and our desires will determine our actions. So Some students, they are satisfied by graduate school and they drop out and they pursue other careers. Some are not satisfied and they continue into their masters and into the doctorate and postdoctorate, and even beyond that, in that particular field of education. So similarly, when it comes to spiritualists, this is the Vigyan. According to the Shastra or according to the scriptures, the word Vigyan, a Sanskrit word, I believe we have discussed this in the past. Vigyan is a composition of two words combined, Vishesh plus Gyan. Vishesh means very special or topmost, and Gyan means knowledge. That combined together becomes Vigyan. And in most Indian vernacular languages, the word is very commonly used in their vocabulary, but most of it is related to the so-called sciences that we learn in school and college. Even when the students, who are in a non-English medium, vernacular medium, we say that, oh, now it's time for our science class. The fifth grader school student, the boy or girl will say. But in a vernacular school, somebody who doesn't speak English, but in the local language, they will say Vigyan. Now we have our next class is our Vigyan class, Vigyan. But actually, the word Vigyan has a origin and the topmost meaning as being Vishesh Gyan, and that Vishesh Gyan means topmost spiritual knowledge, and the topmost spiritual knowledge means understanding who we are, where we come from, what is karma, what is our destination, what brings us into this material world, what takes us into the spiritual world. And in the spiritual world, there are so many different delineations and so many different personalities of Godhead. Who do we worship? Who do we like? Who should we dedicate our devotion to? So, all these choices happen to the individual. And according to one's understanding and according to one's level of satisfaction, one stops there. That's where they call it full stop, and they are satisfied uh, with a particular achievement, whether it is material or it could be the domain of spirituality, including the different domains in Vaikuntha or the spiritual world, where there are so many different spiritual planets and there are so many different personalities of Godhead who are the object of devotion and service in those spiritual planets. But there are some who are very fortunate to get this information to begin with. There's always first comes information, then comes the second stage of understanding, and then the third stage comes is of realization. So information, understanding, and then realization. So most of the people who are believers, they are not been given this opportunity yet somehow or the other, because they are not ready yet. Even for example, like Srila Prabhupada and our Gaudiya acharyas like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, they have mentioned that Christianity in its purest form is also a simple form of Vaishnavism. Uh, Vaishnavism, because the principles of Vaishnavism is that there is a personality of Godhead. There is a person. God is a person, and service to God is the ultimate goal of mankind. So this is what Lord Jesus Christ also preached in the most simplest form, that one should surrender to the Supreme Lord, believe in Him, and and then there were other nuances of piety that Lord Jesus, the noble Jesus Christ, preached about, so that we could come to that platform that He mentioned in the Bible. Not many spiritualists, even those who are studying the Bible in the theistic, the Bible schools and studies, because I used to go to many different interfaith organizations and participate I did that many years in Chicago, and I had first-hand experience of many different of persons of different faiths, and trying to find a common ground for worship, trying to find a common ground for mankind, trying to find a common ground for brethren, for universal brotherhood. And that with having under that, if you all know that the Parliament of the World Religions, which originally started their first session, their first plenary session was in 1899 in Chicago, when even Swami Vivekananda, representing the Indian faith, came to Chicago in that Parliament of World Religions. And then since then, actually for 100 years, nothing happened, especially nothing big. And then in 1999, after 100 years, the Parliament of World Religions again commenced with a huge program in South Africa, Cape Town. We were fortunate to be there. So, but the point being, coming back to our main subject here, and where I'm going when I'm mentioning these things, even Jesus Christ mentions in the Bible that, I forget which chapter and which verse, but this is something that can be very easily Googled, and you can find the verse of the Bible. I have many things yet to say, but you do not have the ears. I have many things yet to say, but you do not have the ears. What does that mean? That means and Jesus Christ talked about heaven. Jesus Christ talked about hell. Jesus Christ talked about the kingdom of God. Very specific. And of course, he was talking about earth. So, so these four delineations are there even in the basic Vaishnava scriptures, that there is the material world that comprises of the earthly planet, the hellish planets, and the heavenly planets. But beyond the earth, the heavenly and the hellish planets, lies that domain of no anxiety known as Vaikuntha, and which Jesus Christ uh, mentions in the Bible as the kingdom of God. And God is a person, is has been indicated many a time in the Bible, where even Jesus mentions that my Father is waiting in the kingdom of God, waiting for us. So similarly, Krishna is waiting for all of us to come home, go home back to Godhead, to our original home. So even Jesus Christ mentions about having supper with the Lord, with the Father. So that means you can only have supper with a real person, just like when it is evening time and all the family members are gathered around the dining table and they have supper. So only real persons can have supper. So that is why Christianity has been considered by our acharyas as a simple form of Vaishnavism, because Vaishnavism believes in that the Supreme Lord is a person. We are also persons or entities. We have our own identification and our own identity, and our identity never is lost, whether in the material world or in the spiritual world. It is only a matter of obtaining different bodies. In the material world, we obtain a material body. In the spiritual world, we obtain spiritual bodies. But there is no question of not seeing God, or nobody can see God, or nobody can hear God, like many other faiths they proclaim. And even within the Indian faith of Hinduism, I don't like to use the word Hinduism, but just to make it easy, there is the school of thought known as the Mayavads, who consider that there is no attributes, there is no personality, everything is just energy, and actually we are all sublime, and we are all that spiritual energy, and that's all we are, and we are the Lord himself in the form of energy. So they do not believe, they go all about the nirgun, without any qualities, and without any form. Uh, so so there is no form, there is no qualities. Ultimately, the ultimate destination is this spiritual realm, which is full of effulgence, which is just simply known as light or Brahma Jyoti. So all these are different propositions where certain entities are very happy with those propositions, and then their journey stops there. But by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our journey is so sublime that if we simply take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his sincere followers, then we will be able to enter into that domain where everything, that domain itself is the source of everything, the source of creation, the source of spiritual creations, the source of material creations, the source of all relationships, the source of spiritual relationships, the source where we find that there is such a beautiful relationship, an eternal relationship that is Sat Chit Ananda, that is eternal. It is full of cognizance that I have a relationship with the Supreme Lord and the Lord's intimate associates, and thereby the ultimate re- goal or the ultimate result is Ananda or bliss, never ending bliss. A bliss that that is not short-lived like in the material world, where Srila Prabhupada mentions in some of his purports, cessation of miseries is labeled as happiness. I'll repeat that sentence again. Cessation of miseries is misconstrued as happiness. And in this world, there is no such thing as permanent happiness. Happiness is short lived. As Govinda says in his bhajan, where he says that uh, uh, ए दिन बात वरीषण ए दिन यामिनी जागिने विफल सेविनु कृपण दुर्जन चपल sukha लव लागी रे. Day and night we labored in all the seasons, whether it is the rainy season or the hot season or it is the very cold season. E shita atapa, whether it is the cold season or the dead heat of summer. Bata, where it is very windy. Barishana, where it is the monsoon season where there's so much rain and the rain. So all different seasons throughout the year. Uh, E dina yamini jagine, and day and night. Din means day and yamini means night. Jagire, and we simply wasted our time. We still simply remained awake. Why? To serve who? Uh, Kripana Durjana, serving the misers. Kripan in Sanskrit or most Indian languages means miser. And Durjan means rascals. Durjan means fallen persons. Kripana Durjan, what we did, we spent our time, and that's what we do in this material world. Uh, we are working in an office. We are working for misers. We are working for rascals. We are working for faithless people. Why? Just for a few dollars, just for a few rupees, just for a few pieces of gold coins, as the old saying said. We sell our soul to the devil for a few pieces of gold coins, without any piety in our hearts, without any mercy, without any some or the other. The material world's nature is that we have to earn money, hook or crook, and even if it means serving misers. Why are we called misers? Govindas has called us misers because when we get this human form of life, this human form of life is so sublime and it is the highest that one can obtain, the highest treasure. The highest treasure that we can obtain, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us. But we are, and it is there within us. It is only has to be cleansed. Just like after we enter a very uh, a vacation home or a home away from home that we are using maybe once in a month in the whole year, or perhaps once in a few years we visit. When the moment we open the doors, we find it has got layers and layers of dust in that closed house. There are cobwebs, and there's so much dust in it, it has been accumulated. And once we clean that house nicely, everything, every nook and corner, then we are very happy to stay in it. Our this house becomes habitable again. Similarly, our soul has been covered with layers and layers of dust, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions in the first verse, that we need to cleanse it. Cheto darpana marjanam. We have to clean our consciousness, cleanse the mirror of our consciousness, the mirror of our mind, the core of our heart needs to be cleansed. Cheto darpana marjanam. And when that happens, then everything that is dirty, that has been accumulated, will disappear. And by the mercy of Mahaprabhu, we will receive that treasure. It is already there. A Krishna Bhakti Sabhu Karunai Shravanadi Chittaye Ko Hriday Koroy Udai Chaitanya Charitamrita. That the pure devotional love for Sri Krishna from the topmost planet is present in everybody's heart. Uh, Sadhu Kabunai, one does not have to obtain it from outside. Shravanadi, Shravan means by hearing, the process of hearing. Adi means remembering, chanting, all the different processes of devotional service. Uh, Shravanadi, Chitta. Chitta means the core of the heart or the heart. Chitta, the consciousness. Koroy Udoy. Uday means it manifests, it re-manifests. Right now we have forgotten who we are. Right now we have forgotten our relationship with Sri Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, somebody asked Srila Prabhupada when he came to the West, Swamiji, why have you come here? I have come here, Srila Prabhupada would smile and say, to make you remember what you have forgotten, to remind you of what you have forgotten. So that is why we are all those who do not use this human body for the highest purpose, the highest treasure, which is the treasure, the, the treasure of Harinam, Prema Dhana, the treasure of service to Radha Krishna and to their intimate associates, to the treasure that only this human body can possess. And if we do not use it, just like a very, very miserly person like Scrooge, when we were in school, we learned, during Christmas time, they used to, we studied in a convent school, and we used to participate in the Christmas carols and all those things, and the teachers used to tell us all those Christmas stories. So the everybody knows, most of, I'm hoping that most of you are familiar with Scrooge. That Scrooge was a very, 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 very stingy person. In anybody who came to him, he would not even spare one penny. Even if the poor people came and they saw him, from the glass, and he would see that he was there in his house, and he had a lot of wealth, but they were begging with the bowls, but he would not even look at them, and sometimes he would shoo them away. Get away from my window. So those are Scrooges. That person's name in that particular Christmas story, his name is Scrooge. So we are like Scrooge. We have this wealth, but we don't want to use it. In India, there is, especially in Hindi, they say that, oh, the itna kanjus hai, he's so miserly, he's makhi chus. Uh, and the word makhi chus everybody knows. But do you know the actual real meaning of the word makhi chus? Makhi chus means that makhi means a fly. And when sometimes the flies are flying, and when a very miserly person is drinking milk, one fly drops into his milk, and he picks up that dead fly, and he squeezes that fly so that even that little iota of milk that is in the fly's body should not go wasted, and he should not give that up. Most people would simply, reject the milk, or worst scenario, if you can't afford to reject it, pick up the fly and throw it away, and then take the milk. But this fellow is makhi chus, and not only that, he will squeeze it. And this is pretty gross, please pardon me, but I'm trying to portray the miserly aspect. And can you imagine, we can consider ourselves as Makichus, or that personality Scrooge. Makichus means not he will squeeze that milk that is on the body of that drowned fly, house fly, but he will also squeeze it he will put it in his mouth. That is very gross, sorry, please forgive me. And he will try to suck or lick all the remainder of the remnants of the little particles of milk that are there, remainder, which he is not able to squeeze out in that glass of milk. So such misers. So think about it. We are such misers. Govindas, a great Vaishnava poet, a great Vaishnava, It's comparing that we are serving such people. We are those people because we are capable of obtaining the highest treasure. We have the highest treasure and we are not utilizing it. See, that is the thing. We try to invite so many people, come, take to this Krishna conscious. Srila Prabhupada used to plead. Nityanand Prabhu, you himself used to plead. Haridas Thakur, you please take the name of the holy name once. Please. The Vaishnavas are pleading, come, come once a week. We have this satsang. Please join us. But we are so much miserly in our nature that we have other things that are predominant than this actual treasure which we have, which most of us do not recognize, or even if we do, then we're not really doing much about it. So that is why we fale sevinu kripana durjana chapala sukha lavalagire. Simply to get chapala sukha. We were talking about the flickering happiness. That's what is only possible in this material world. Chapal means flickering. We are going to school, we're going to office, we're going to work or business or whatever our profession is for chapal sukh. But the real sukh or the real anand is if we spend some good time in our Krishna, cultivating good time in our Krishna consciousness, then our lives, our existence will become successful. Otherwise, no matter how much money or education, material education we may obtain, at the end, we will have to leave all that and simply, continue with based on what we have mostly done in our present lifetimes that is already building our next body due to our karmic reaction. And we are not guaranteed a human body if we have not uh, shown some attraction to devotion. If we have shown some attraction to devotion, then yes, Krishna has guaranteed that at least you will get a human body. But the rest, they're playing Russian roulette. They're taking a huge chance. They're gambling. They're basically committing spiritual suicide if they do not take to devotional service. And we are so fortunate. Mahaprabhu has given us this beautiful Shikshashtakam. So coming back into that, sometimes I kind of build the foundation or the mood before we actually enter into the main theme of the subject matter, because it is very important to appreciate what Mahaprabhu has given and the associates of Mahaprabhu. Similarly, theism at its highest concept is something as we study. And I'm fortunate enough to say, at least, that I have studied many different, the fundamentals of many different faiths, the Christianity, Islam, etc., Judaism, and even within the Hinduism or the Sanatan Dharma faith. And then I've come to the conclusion that, yes, my dear devotees, there's nothing beyond this. Um, Trust me, not because I'm saying so, because it is these great personalities who have descended from the highest region. They are not only saying it, but they are sharing it. And they are the Bhuridajana. They are indeed the highest benefactors of mankind. There's nothing beyond that can be obtained. Uh, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nandan himself wanted to obtain that highest devotion, lest we forget. And that is the reason, the internal reason of his appearance and the internal reason of his chanting the Mahamantra in the Gambira. 12 years in Sri Jagannath Puri Dham. He was chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. After first doing his external duty, because he wanted to give the holy names to everyone, and then he wanted to leave it up to us, because everybody has got that independence, that minute independence. Nobody can put a gun to somebody's head and say, you must love me. I'm putting a gun to your head, you must love me. Then that is not love. That is autocracy. That is dictatorship. That is demoniac in nature. Even the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself doesn't do that. It is voluntary. And Srila Prabhupada perhaps used the most choicest words when he translated the word bhakti from Sanskrit by translating into English loving devotional service. So where the word love comes, it is absolutely voluntary. Uh, Minus the word love, then it could be forced, it could be out of some duty, it could be out of some pressure, it could be out of fear. But love is beyond fear. As we will be studying in this verse, that love is beyond any law. Love is beyond law. And believe it or not, as I'll be going and presenting some nice choice verses of Sri Rupa Goswami and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's uh, the bhajan on Shikshashtakam from Gitavali. We sang that last time, but I was not able to uh, kind of expound on it. So I will be doing that today in this session. And then, of course, there is one more bhajan of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the song of Shikshashtakam section in Gitavali, which there are two songs in this section. So hopefully I will take it up next time. But I don't want to rush this very sublime subject. And even though my understanding is very minimal and it is on a very small scale, it is indeed so relishable, especially for me, and I'm hoping it's the same for you all. And whatever words that are emanating from my mouth I'm hoping that they're blessed by Srila Prabhupada and our Vaishnava Acharyas, so that it is for their pleasure as well. Um, along presenting along with some fundamental truths, some basics, as and when the opportunity arises. So, that is why even Mahaprabhu himself, he did his external job of giving the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and it has been declared Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana. It is indeed will give us the topmost Prema Dhana, the highest treasure of love. But Ratina Janmi Loke Netai. Narottam Das Thakur, a great Vaishnava poet, is mentioning that in this bhajan. We sang today one of the bhajans of Narottam Das Thakur, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Daya Karo More, Toma Vina Ke Dayalu Jagat Samsare. We sang that bhajan. That was also composed by Narottam Das Thakur. So Narottam Das Thakur, so the thing is, Mahaprabhu came. He very freely gave the holy name. But how many of us are really interested? Even the greatest Vaishnava acharyas take a very humble position and say, Ratina Janmi Loke Netai. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who is Krishna himself, who is not only the Krishna, he is the Adi Krishna. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. There are many types of Krishna, but this is Adi Krishna, the Adi Purusha, from whom all the other Krishnas and all the other avatars and all the other incarnations emanate. So even he himself is saying in the form of Mahaprabhu, that in the second verse, when he's saying that he's saying that in the second verse, it just escaped my mind. It was on my lips, where he's saying that नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्व शक्ति तत्र अर्पित नियमित स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन ममपि दुर्दैवम ईदृशम इह जानी न अनुरागः न अनुरागः न अनुरागः. But I do not have any taste for the holy name. So in reality, it is us who do not have taste for the holy name. We have been given, just like a very, very loving parent or a grandparent may give us a lot of nice things, but there are some of us who can be of that demoniac or careless or callous or nature, or of a rascal nature, that we do not care for their love. We do not care for all the beautiful things that they gave us. Is it true or not? This is a fact of life that we see and we experience, and perhaps we are a part of it. Perhaps we did the same thing in our childhood, or even now, and definitely, we do not have the taste in the holy name. Nandan came and gave it. He promised that he will come as a devotee and he will give it. Externally, he gave that, and then he personally settled down in Jagannath Puri 12 years for his internal bhajan, for his internal own. He wanted to obtain the highest devotion. Can you imagine the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He still is hankering for the pinnacle and the zenith of Krishna Prema. The pinnacle and the zenith of the love that the gopis and Radharani feel for him. The pinnacle and the zenith of his own sweetness he wanted to taste. And in order to do that, he had to take that mood or consciousness of the best of the best of the cream of all the devotees, and that is Radharani. And that is the reason why this Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, good for everyone, right from somebody who has never heard the holy name. Mahaprabhu is pleading, just like Nityananda, please take the holy name once. The holy name will eradicate everything that is inauspicious in within our consciousness, in our hearts, everything that is required, that the negation, all the negativity will be removed, and eventually you will receive that treasure of Golok Vrindavan, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam, that the transcendental knowledge and the transcendental emotions that the Vadu or the Vraj Vadus, the gopis of Vrindavan, uh, um, are, have received and are able to give, and so that we should be, our hearts should be so cleansed so that we can receive that mercy 100% without any loss or diminution. So Mahaprabhu, King Krishna, has still not understood highest devotion. He has some idea. We can say he may have a certain percentage, a majority, but in order to understand that highest devotion, he had to play that role of that highest devotee. He had to obtain that mood of that highest devotee. And for that, what sacrifices are we ready to give? Ashlishya. Today's the verse continuing the 8th verse. Ashlishya va pad ratam pinastu mam. Adarshanam marma harto karotu va yatha tatha va vidhato lampato mat prananathas sa eva na paraha. Aslisha, whether with great pleasure or joy, vapadaratam, you know, either if you are attached to me with great pleasure. Now the gopis or Radharani, they are saying this, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is speaking as the ultimate. When the volcano burst, the golden volcano of divine love, it burst, and the golden lava is spouting. Now the lava is spouting at its highest peak. When this verse is being spoken, when we see that, even when we were kids, we used to play with those little volcano firecrackers. What do we call them in Hindi or Gujarati? We used to call them koti. We used to call them. They were conical in shape, just like a mountain or a volcano. And then you take a sparkler and you light it on top. You touch it, and then lo and behold, it would erupt like a fountain. And that eruption of the fountain would start, slowly, 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 and then it would reach a crescendo, the highest peak. When it is so, the height would be several feet high, and the brightness and the colors would be dazzling and sparkling, and it would be at its peak. So this is something similar, if I can, with the best of my ability, to speak or describe Mahaprabhu's emotions, for that golden love that he had, that Radharani's love. It was at its crescendo, speaking when that eruption burst, that volcano burst, and when Mahaprabhu was reached the crescendo of that fountain of lava that burst, is happening in this 8th verse. Ashlishya, whether my dear Krishna, now the mood has come. Now Nandanandan has forgotten, just like when we are playing a role, a great actor who was nominated for Oscars, or who was nominated for some of the highest awards for their art and performance. But why are they awarded so many awards? The reason is because their acting is so amazing, whether they are crying or they are laughing or they are in a mood of anger, or it could be mixed emotions. All those emotions are passed on to the audience. We feel that if there's a very good actor, that actor in actual life, nothing has happened to him, but that imaginary screen or that acting that he's doing has brought out those emotions into the audience. And the more we feel that gravity of the emotions, the more we realize that, wow, what an actor, amazing, what a wonderful job he's done. And I'm sure this person is going to be nominated, and he's going to take the Oscar award. We kind of, cast our own votes, the public. So similarly, uh, in a similar fashion, if I may, this is not acting, but in reality, uh, Nanda Nandan, he wants to become Srimati Radharani. He wants to become Sri Radha. He wants to get that mood of Radha. And in the seventh and eighth verse, he has obtained that mood of Radharani. And he has forgotten that he is Krishna himself. Please try to understand that. It is like somebody is so absorbed in a particular mood of another person that the person forgets his own identity. And he actually becomes that person, thinks, feels, wills in that particular fashion. So, Nandanandan Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, now has obtained that mood and consciousness of Radharani, where he has completely forgotten himself, where now he's praying to himself in the mood of a devotee. How ironical and how funny and how amazing. And this is what we call as achintya bheda bheda tattva. Chintya means something that we can think or comprehend, and that is called chintya in Sanskrit. And achintya means something that is not comprehensible, something that is beyond our understanding. So bhed means the simultaneousness and oneness and difference. Bheda means oneness, and abheda means the like oneness at the same time different. So Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas give this wonderful example of achintya bheda bheda tattva. Tattva means philosophy. Like the sun, the planet, the sun that rises every day. Now the sun and the sun's rays, uh, in one sense they are the same, but at the same time they're distinctly different. There is there is oneness, and at the same time there is there is individuality. That oneness is there. Like even I can say, remembering Jesus Christ, when he says that my father, when most of the Christians fall for these words of Jesus Christ with a sort of uh, a partial understanding, I would say. When most of the Christians or Catholics, they say that, oh, that Jesus is only the way, you know, uh, 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 to the Father in heaven, because Jesus said that my Father and I are one. My Father and I are one. This is a perfect example of Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. What does that mean? So one can interpret this sentence in two ways. My Father and I are one means I am the Father and the Father is the Son. So it is the same personality. Uh, that's one way of looking at it, just based on the grammatical sentence. But I and the Father are one can be allegorical or it can be metaphorical. And it also is grammatically correct, because oneness could be in thinking, feeling, and willing. But it doesn't mean oneness in individuality. Individuals are two separate. Jesus is a separate individual, and God, the Father, in the kingdom, in the one who is in the kingdom of God, God is a separate entity. But that oneness is that because whatever God wanted, Jesus did. So whatever the Lord wants, He does. Sakshat haritvena samasta sastre ruktas tatha bhav yata eva sadbi kinto prabhoya priya eva tasya vande guru Sri Charanarvindam. Uh, the guru or the messenger of God or the Messiah uh, is simply a representative of God, but he is not God. Kinto prabhoya priyevatasya, but he is very dear to Lord. Why? Because he knows the will of God and he acts according to the will of God. So just like I've actually given this example in the past, that in a very big industry, if there's a father and son running the business, and when the father is about to retire, some of the senior managers come and tell that, your son made this decision today. Would you like to see it? And the father would say, no, my son and I, we are the same. Sometimes we hear such language, meaning whatever decision my son has made, I've trained him well enough. So he will not make any wrong decisions. It is my thinking, my feeling, my willing that my son has done. So no need. If he has said that this is the way this particular situation should be handled, so my son and I, we are one. So although they are separate individuals, but they're one in their thinking, feeling, consciousness, willing. So that is Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. The sun ray is separate from the sun, the particle of the sunlight is separate from the sun, but at the same time, it is a part of the sun. So, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, within the different levels of Vaishnavism, Mahaprabhu, there is Shuddha Advaitavad, there is Advaitavad, there is Vishishta Advaitavad, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came up with this beautiful concept of theism, which is known as Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. We are simultaneously one with the Supreme Lord, but at the same time, we are his infinitesimal part and parcels. So this is something very amazing. So similarly, if we apply that to that as an example to Krishna's mood, Krishna is different, Radharani is different. But they're one. Eko Sham Bahuda Vidati Kaman, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanos Chetnanam, Eko Sham Bahuda Vidati Kaman. In the beginning, Krishna says in the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, when he first gives the knowledge to Lord Brahma, Evam Eva Agre. In the beginning of creation, it is me only who existed alone, O Lord Brahma. But then Krishna, for his own pleasure, he expanded himself, into different various expansions. And the first two immediate expansions of Sri Krishna are Radharani's Aladini Shakti and his Sandini Shakti, Lord Balram. And he himself remains the Samvit Shakti. So they're all three different individuals. But all devotees of the Lord, the pure devotees of the Lord, who are serving the Lord for his pleasure, they are all one with him. They are united in him due to giving pleasure to Krishna. And in order to obtain that highest service and pleasure, in order to understand that, Krishna had to take a form of the highest devotee, Radharani. And therefore he forgot who he was. And which happened to him when the volcano of divine love, the golden love, bursted in the Gambhira, where the 7th and 8th verses, especially the 8th verse, which we are discussing right now, where he has completely lost consciousness about himself, who he is, and he has fully obtained the mood of Srimati Radharani. So now, who does Radharani and the gopis, who do they pray to? Who did they pray to? So they pray to none other than Krishna. So they are telling Krishna, "Oh Krishna, Aslishya va padartam," whether with great pleasure you are attached to us, whether with great pleasure you hug us, or pinashta. Pinashta means you trample us. You simply, like we trample a insignificant piece of grass. Many people trample the grass in the garden or in the soccer field. Simply. So whether you want to hug us, whether you want to with great pleasure, or whether you want to trample us, or whether you want to be in front of us. So Mahaprabhu, in the form of in the mood of Radharani, in the mood of the Madhurya Ras, in the mood of the Madanakhya Bhav, in the mood of Mahabhav, we described all those different delineations of prema, pranaya, mana, raga, anuraga, bhav, and Mahabhav. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has attained that highest mood of Mahabhav, because Radharani had promised to give it to him. Radharani said that when you leave Golok Vrindavan and you want to become a devotee, and you want the highest devotion towards you, then you will go crazy. You will be rolling on the ground and you will be hurting yourself. And actually Mahaprabhu, when he used to sit and chant in the Gambhira, he had lost complete consciousness, his external consciousness. He used to chant Mahamantra. Sometimes his words would falter, which he previously described. Vadanam Gadgada Rudayagira, it's faltering. I cannot even say the name. Ha ha ha. Krishna, 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 Hare, 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 Ra, 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 Ra. Vadanam Gadgadura, Pulakir Nichitam Vapu. His hairs were standing on an end. Asgnayana Galada Shrudharaya. Streams and streams of tears flowed from his eyes, losing his external consciousness. He chanted the holy name. And when he chanted that, sometimes he would rub in separation, feeling that separate, just like when we see somebody, the beloved one dies. What happens to the wife? She's beating her chest, she's pulling her hair, she's crying, she's banging her head against the wall. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would do that. Of course, he didn't have hair, he was a sannyasi, but he would bang his head against the wall of the Gambira. He would rub his cheeks, chanting the Mahamantra, and blood would ooze. Sarup Damodarji, Rai Ramananji used to come and take him away. And then they used to sing the songs of Chandidas, Vidyapati, Jaidev Goswami, just to kind of pacify him, to break that craziness that he had obtained, because Radharani knew what's going to happen. And she said, that is the reason why I'm going to wrap myself around you. So that when you hurt yourself, you know, Nandan Nandan, you will be saved, but that hurt and those wounds will fall on me. That is why he's Gauranga, because Radharani is Tapta Kanchane Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pango Parshadam. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. When Krishna comes in Kali Yuga, especially in his special avatar as the Audhari avatar, Krishna Varnam, he will always be in the mood of the Gopi Radha, and he's going to be describing Krishna. He's going to be talking about Krishna. Krishna Varnam. That is the meaning of the first word of the first two words of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter, chapter 5. This verse is there. Krishna Varnam, Tvisha Krishnam. And he, although he is dark in color, Krishna means dark. So there are several meanings of the name Krishna in Sanskrit. Krishna means the all attractive. Krishna also means darkish. One who is very dark in color is also known as Krishna. He is also known as Shyam, darkish. So Krishna, Varnam, although he is blackish, Tvisha or Krishnam, when he comes in Kali Yuga, which is about 535 years, Tvisha, his complexion will be Akrishnam. It will not be darkish, but as a matter of fact, it will be golden. Because Radharani knew that. That's why I will wrap myself around you. And eventually, Radharani knew that due to his immense tapasya and his determination, he will obtain her mood. He will obtain that. And that is the reason why he chanted the Mahamantra constantly, to get his prayojan, which is Radha Prem. We are all dying to get Krishna Prem, but Krishna is dying to get Radha Prem. That Radha Prem was obtained by chanting none other than Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And once that Radha Prem is obtained, once that Mahabhav is obtained, once that Gopi Bhav is obtained, then we have sold ourselves. Like the gopis say in the Gopi Geet, Varada Nignado Ashulka Dasika, Varada Nignado Neha Kim Vada, Suratanathate, Swaradudasa E, Suratanathate, Ashulka Dasika, Varada Nignado Neha Kim Vada. Aren't you committing so much atrocities, oh Nandan Nandan? The gopis are accusing Krishna, saying, oh Krishna, look what you have done to us. We are Ashulka Dasika. Shulka means somebody who gets paid. Or in common terms, we heard the word shulk in Hindi or other languages means tax, something that is owed. Shulka means something that is owed to somebody. Just like the common citizens owe tax to the government. So in India, they call Shulka department. Income tax department is called Shulka department or Shulka Bhavan, the income tax department. But the gopis are saying in the Gopi Geet, we are Ashulka Dasika. Ashulka means we are your servants, oh Krishna. We are your maid servants, that you can make us dance as you please without any payment. They specify that, look, we are indeed your das, because das or servants can be paid servants also, just by saying that I'm your das, okay, good enough. But that does not completely specify whether you are a paid servant or unpaid servant. But here the gopis are specifically specifying to Krishna, we are Ashulk Dasika. We have nothing to do. We have given up everything. We have we don't need anything, from you. We just love you. And that is the reason why, because out of love, we serve you. And Varadanignato, and simply with your sidelong glances, sometimes you make fun of us. Is that not murder? Neha, Kim Vada. Vada means murder. That is indeed murder. That, because we are so humble, because we are so bhola bhala, we are so innocent, we are so naive, and we are not even expecting any remuneration from you. You are simply treating us just the way you want. This is basically the verse in the Gopi Geet that kind of matches with verse number 8. Ashlishya vapadaratam pinastumam. Adarshanam marma harto karo. Whether you appear before us or you disappear before us. Whether you just you leave us stranded. Right in the middle of the night, you leave us stranded. You do all this to us. In the Maharas, we came so enthusiastic, we left everything, and then you suddenly disappeared. So it is up to you. Yatha tathava vidato. Vidato means as you please. We have already sold ourselves to you. So you do as you please to us. You lampato. However, they use a very strong word. They call Krishna a debauchee. Or last time I had explained, in normal terms, a debauchee means a person or a playboy who has got more than one girlfriend. This is a very transcendental. And again, I caution all the devotees: the subject matter should not be taken up very easily, and it's not meant for everybody's ears. But I'm hoping, with all the months and all that over a year we have been conducting this Bhakti Vedanta Bhagavad group, not an iota of lust or a question should arise in the hearts of the devotees when such exalted personalities like Radharani and the gopis are using such words for Krishna. And I explained that last time too. The reason why he does that he goes to the other gopis, uh, leaving Radharani and the Swapakshi gopis or the friends of Radharani, just simply to arouse that newer and newer levels of prema, newer and lower levels of love in their hearts. That is why he goes somewhere, so that pranaya, that mamta, that he is mine, and that mana, that pranaya, when it is converted into that supreme possessiveness, that you are ours and you will do exactly as we say and you did not come. So then that becomes mana, sulkiness, unhappiness, anger, all of the above. And Krishna is dying for that moment, because in every action when we are doing, whether it is a work or where it is pleasure related, there is a certain rush of adrenaline. If I can give you all a very simple example, just so that we can understand what an adrenaline rush is. When we go to Disneyland or we go to some of those amusement parks, and we try to catch that most what do you call highest and the most thundering and the most exciting what do you call those roller coasters, uh, where there's a huge line. Sometimes people are ready to wait 1 hour, 2 hours just to get onto that literally 3 minute ride, or sometimes it's only 1 minute. But what happens once that wait in the line in the heat. I know that Disneyland in Florida, Orlando, it's very hot, and in the summer, in the peak of the summer season and the holidays, if you go to Universal Studios or you go to Disneyland, there's hundreds and hundreds of kids lined up with their parents, and the lines are really late, like sometimes a mile long, just to get on that one particular ride amongst the hundreds of rides that are there. Those are like the most, and that patience and their weight and the sweltering heat. And some of the boys, they take out their t-shirts and they fan themselves, and they have their hats and their water bottles are empty, and they're like, and the kids are saying, "Mom, how long do we have to wait?" And the mom says, "Just a few more minutes, just a few more minutes." And then finally the moment comes when they're right up there, about 5 stories up in the sky. They're up there, and when they sit in that that roller coaster. And when the roller coaster starts, it spirals, and it catches some momentum. It catches momentum, and then when it reaches its crescendo or the zenith on the top, it slows down. It stops. And then when it is on the peak, that roller coaster is dropping almost 90 degrees. At that time, when the roller coaster is dropping the 90 degrees, there is a rush of adrenaline. Everybody is screaming, their mouths are wide open. There are sometimes tears flowing from their eyes out of ecstasy, and the rush of adrenaline just for that literally 10-second drop. Literally a 10-second drop, that adrenaline. So that adrenaline rush. So similarly, if I'm using this example, perhaps so that we can understand the adrenaline that that can that Nandanandan wanted to attain by attaining that bhava, that crescendo. That is why so much tapasya he did, and that is the reason, in order to obtain that mood, in order to obtain that bhav, that requires beyond material law, beyond material reason, beyond even within the spiritual domain. It tests the highest of the highest. The highest of the highest is being tested here. The tapasya, the weight, the pursuance, the endurance, and the endurance keeps increasing day by day. Not only that, last time, if you all remember, the verse is that Krishna is going to the other gopis, just like a wife when she finds that her husband has an affair, uh, like her husband has an affair, then she's sad, she's angry, but her love sometimes is so great that she kind of accepts it silently, or sometimes even if the lover is of a greater nature, then that love, she accepts it, that fine, if that makes my husband happy, let him have that other woman, let him have that. Although that takes a lot of courage and a lot of love, it is not something that we see very common in our lives, and that is considered very abominable or antisocial for somebody to have an extramarital affair. But there are cases that we hear even in certain common or mundane literatures, where there is such a great sacrifice that the woman gives, that's fine, you like him, so you go, I will still serve you sincerely. And then she will be shedding tears in her own confinement, waiting for the husband to come. And then finally the husband comes, and then she is waiting to serve him, etc., putting to sleep, and do some menial chores for that husband, due to the overwhelming love that person has. It is extremely rare to be found in this material domain. But even if there is, we see that case. But to make that worse, that person not only has an extramarital affair, has an affair with somebody, but right in front of, though, to make it worse, there are moments when that person kisses or embraces the sought or the other woman right in front of one's own eyes. Now, can you imagine how much painful that can be? Just knowing enough that there is just sometimes rumors itself are heart rendering to that person. And then when she finds out in reality that this person has an affair, that itself is devastating. And then the pinnacle of pain and suffering reaches its zenith when that person actually brings her home, or brings her in a position where the other lover sees that he is in a compromising position with her, with the romantic different nuances, the kissing and the hugging right in front of the other lover. Now that is what is the actual bhav of this verse, my dear friends, and my dear Prabhus, my dear Matas, that aslishya padartam pinastu mama darshanam kartu marma harto karotu va yatha tatha va vidato lampato mat prana nathasya eva paraha. Krishna mentions, I think, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that when mortal beings, when they abandon all fruitive activities, like all the karmic, and they surrender themselves to me, I become desire of bestowing them some benediction. Krishna feels that he becomes obligated towards them. That is why Krishna is recommending that one should give up all karmic activities. One should, even if you cannot, Arjun, be a karma yogi, don't be a karmi. uh, Karma yogi means whatever you do, you offer to me. And then when you do that with great love, Krishna feels obligated. So Krishna tells Uddhav at that time that when the devotee really does that, I cause them to attain the different forms. When they eventually pass away in this material world, I promote them to the status of my dear eternal associates. So I bring them home back to Godhead. But can Krishna, you know, for the karma yogis, yes, he can make a payment. But Krishna cannot pay these gopis of Vrindavan. He cannot pay the Radharani, because the love of Radharani and the gopis is beyond any reproach, beyond any compensation. Therefore, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 10th canto, Krishna says, and it is also quoted by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, न परायहम निर्वद्य संयुजम स्वसाधु कृत्यम विबुधि उसपीवा यमा भजन दुर्ज गेह श्रूण कलह संवृश्च तद्वा प्रतियतु साधुना. Meaning, na parayaham. Oh, my dear gopis, you know, uh, you are meeting with me. Our meeting together is completely pure and faultless. So this is one thing where Krishna makes this very clear, as from a philosophical perspective. Those who are thinking that Krishna is having affairs here and there, so Krishna clearly mentions that our relationship is very pure. We have completely broken the tenacious bonds of household lives. So you have completely broken all the bonds of life, of social life, your parents, your husbands, your children. And even if I obtain a fantastic span of life like that of the demigods, Krishna says, it will not be possible for me to repay your love. Not possible. There's no question of I can compensate the karma yogis. I can compensate other yogi or other devotees by giving them a place in Vaikuntha, by giving them the Salokya, Sarupya, Samipya, and Sarshti Mukti. I can do all those things, but I cannot compensate you, oh gopis. You're beyond. This is something. So this verse, especially in one sense, for those who are rasik in nature, uh, please try to understand. I'm trying to connect this verse with the verse of Bhagavad Gita. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sa tathaiva bhajami ham. According to your devotion to me, I reciprocate. Here, from the highest angle, Krishna fails. This verse will fail when it comes to Radharani and the gopis, because that has been admitted in the Srimad Bhagavatam verse. Everybody else, Krishna can compensate, but short of the love of Vrajvasis, especially the love that has been bestowed by Radharani and her intimate associates and the Vrajvasis. So he says, Krishna says, even if I obtain the life of demigods, like a lifespan, because the lifespan of demigods is considered very great in the material world. Uh, like I said, in the third Swarga, where Lord Indra resides, the average lifespan is 40,000 years. And Lord Brahma's lifespan is, I think, 4 trillion something years, some odd years. So Lord Brahma is also considered one of the Devi Devtas. So Krishna says, even if I obtain the lifespan of Lord Brahma or the demigods, you know, I will not be possible to repay. Because sometimes we say, like, okay, fine. What is the karmic reaction? Karmic reaction is like, sometimes we suffer in our lives. It's what we have to pay for our last lives. Uh, it is a continuation. So many lives are there, and we are paying now. Whatever it is, whether we owe money to somebody, or certain things, bad things happen to us. So it comes in the form of a compensation that we owe due to our bad karma, right? But here Krishna is saying that, there is no way, even if I get the life of Lord Brahma or the demigods in the heavenly planets, I won't be able to possible to repay you. Sometimes we say, okay, we can repay in our next life or in the last 7 lives or whatever. Even if we get the life of Lord Brahma, Krishna says, if I get that, I won't be able to repay your love, your service and renunciation that you have shown towards. Therefore, So what shall be your, please be satisfied. He is convincing the gopis, please be satisfied. He is actually coercing the gopis. Please be satisfied by accepting your own auspicious activities or your own love for me as your repayment. And that itself, your glorious love for me itself is your compensation. What an amazing verse. So here we can see that even Shastra fails at a certain point. When it comes to the love of Radharani and the love of the gopis, it is even beyond. And that is why Krishna is hankering something beyond Shastra, uh, something beyond the normal verses of the Vedas or the Uttam Shlok that the Brahmins and the Pandits are chanting. He would rather be called by the gopis like Radharani in that mood, speaking through the mouth of Nandan Nandan in the Gambhira. He is saying, Ashlishya Padaratam Pinastu Mam. Darsham Marmo Pinastu. Pinastu is calling a debauchee, a playboy. Uh, so you playboy, you do as you please, but you are my Lord and Master, birth after birth of Brahma, Janmani Janmani Ishware. You are indeed my life and soul. That is what they're saying. The gopis are saying, Mat Prananathasya eva napara. Radharani says that you are indeed my life and soul, and there's nobody else. So, hearing such words like playboy, debauchee, rascal, all these words are even more favorable to Sri Krishna when he hears it from the mouth of the gopis, he hears it from the mouth of Srimati Radharani, more than the beautiful, flowery shlokas of the Shastra and the different words of the Shastra. So, this is the state. And in order to understand this statement, we have to understand Krishna even further says that, the reason why I disappeared from you only is to increase that intensity of your feelings for me. Evam mat or dojita loka vedaswanam he wo mai anuvruttaye abala maya proksham bhajatat tirohitam. Tirohitam means he's creating that separation. Masuhitam marhatta tat priyam priya. Oh, beloved gopis, he's saying. Uh, oh, tender-hearted friends. So he is now pacifying them because they are in man. Oh, you are so tender-hearted. For my sake, you have abandoned all social conventions, Vedic regulations, and even, excuse me, family relationships. I disappeared from here only from you all to increase that intensity of your feelings towards me. And I was secretly listening to whatever intoxicated speeches you guys were speaking. You I was hearing. It is not that I disappeared, I was hiding behind. So in the Maharashtra Leela, they say Krishna disappeared. Actually, he did not disappear. He disappeared, meaning he went into hiding. He went into hiding behind the bushes and behind the trees, and he wanted to see what the gopis, how they were interacting when they were singing in unison. They were all united in a separation through the Gopi Geet, and we find that so elaborate and beautifully described by Sukdev Goswami in the 31st chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the Gopi Geet. So like this, so I've sung this bhajan before, and it is the same in the Vraj Bhav, which is parallel to this bhajan, where it is saying that we have to get into the mood so that we can understand. Sometimes parallel sadhu, shastra, and shlokas are very important, including connected Vaishnav bhajans and stutis and prayers, so that this will be solid in our hearts. So many months ago I had sung this, and again, because it is relating to this particular verse, I will sing this again. Vipina Mahu Murali Hatha Sachi. Vipina Mahu Murali Hatha Sachi. Vipina Mahu Murali Hatha Sachi. विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। क्लीं श्रीं बीजा प्रेम को वर्धक, क्लीं श्रीं बीजा प्रेम को वर्धक, वंशी गीत सुनिं। गोपी चित्ता समर्पित मोहन, गोपी चित्ता समर्पित मोहन, विवल भाव शनिं। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। घर परिवार बिसरी सई गोपी, घर परिवार बिसरी गई गोपी, सगरी भाग चली। बंधु पिता पति भाई बर जीता, बंधु पिता पति भाई बर जीता, माने नायक कलिम। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। वृंदा विपिन निरख यमुना तट, वृंदा विपिन निरख यमुना तट, कुंज में कृष्ण धनी। मोहक मूर्ति कमल नयन हरि, मोहक मूर्ति कमल नयन हरि। मोहन मूर्ति कमल नयन हरि, स्वागत करत धनी। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। तुम अभिलाष कहोरी गोपी, Krishna is telling the gopis, तुम अभिलाष कहोरी गोपी, हासत हिलोर भरी। मन अनुकूल करूं क्या तेरो, आए अरण्य परी। ओ मन अनुकूल करूं क्या तेरो, आए अरण्य परी। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। विपिन महु मुरली हाथ सजी। व्रज महासुभगा कुशल है आली, व्रज महासुभगा कुशल है आली, क्यों री आई गई। शिशु सास पति ढूंढत होंगे, शिशु सुसासपति ढूंढत होंगे, रात में देर भई, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी। खेत करवट ब्रज जाओ गोपी, go back, oh gopis. खेत खरवट ब्रज जाओ गोपी, दुनिया का ही कहीं, निष्ठुर वाक्य सुनी सब गोपी, निष्ठुर वाक्य, निष्ठुर वाक्य सुनी सब गोपी, सुझ बुझ जात रही, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी। चैतन्य शून्य Haribo. This is the 7th verse of Chaitanya Shikshashtakam that is described in this Vraj Bhakti Bhav. Chaitanya Shunya Bhai Sab Gopi, Govinda Pav Pari, Raj Narayan Das, Raj Narayan Das ke Swami, Gopi Krishna Hari, Gopi Krishna Hari, Vipin Maho Murali हाथ सजी, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी। नवल किशोर नवल मन मोहन, नव स्वरवं शिवजी, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी। नवल किशोर नवल मन मोहन, नवल स्वर वम शिवजी, विपिन महो मुरली हाथ सजी। So, in this bow of the Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, 7th and 8th verse, especially the 8th verse, there is no justice here. There is no justice. In this Vraj Bhav, something similar to this verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Krishna says, I cannot repay you. You have simply given up all Vedic regulations and all your family relationships. So similarly, in the middle of the night, Vipina Mahu Murali Hathabaji, Krishna, on a full moon night, he plays the flute on the Sharat Purnima night. Navala Kishora, Navala Mana Mohana, Navala Swara Vamshi Baji. Navala Kishore, Krishna is in his fullest youthful form, in the bloom, just like in the full moon, the beautiful, the blue lotus, and sometimes the white lotuses, they bloom. Krishna has, in his full bloom youth, has a very new, beautiful new form. And Navala Kishore, Navala Manamohan, he is always completely enchanting the minds of all. That is why he's called Manmohan, especially the minds of the gopis. Navala Manmohan, every time the gopis, think of him, they meet him. And that is the avastha, that is the situation that we will also experience one day when we enter into into this proper understanding of Mahaprabhu's teachings. Just like Lord Brahma, after the Kam Gayatri mantra that was given to him specially by Lord Krishna himself, where he describes Golok Vrindavan, where he describes the beauty of Sri Krishna, Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Mananta Rupam, Adyam Purana Purusha, Now Yauvanam Cha. Same thing, Navala Kishora, Navala Manamohan. Although he is the oldest, Purana Purusham, the oldest being, Lord Krishna, he is now Yauvanam Cha. He is always full of youthful. And Navala, every time it is newer and newer, fresher and fresher. Navaswara Vamshi Vadi. And tonight he's playing a beautiful new tune on his flute, Navala Swara, with a new melody. He has played the flute in the kanan, in the forest, uh, like that, in the Vipina. Klim Shrim Bija Premoko Vardaka Vamshi Gita Sunim. This is amazing. So Klim Shrim Bija Premoko Vardak. So those who are twice initiated in the mantras, when those who have got the Brahminical initiation, especially there are 7 Gayatris. And in the last 2 Gayatris, we find that there is the the cling, the words cling are being used. And actually the Kam Gayatri mantra is being meditated upon. And these 2 mantras, the last 2 mantras in the Brahma Gayatri, that is given in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Parampara, and even in ISKCON, it is given to to those devotees who are serving on the altar. And but we have to understand the meanings of these Gayatris. They are very deep, and of course this is not the time and place, because again this will become like several sessions just to understand the 7 Gayatri mantras, that why, according to the Narad Pancharatra, these have been given. And especially the last 2 of the Gayatris, that is in the Gopi Bhav. We don't generally get those meanings when we are getting initiated by our gurus, because they generally give the general meaning. But but there is a lot of deep intensity in the Madhurya Rasa of the last 2 verses of the Kam Gayatri. And in that is why the word Kling Shrim Bija Premako Mantra, that is the Bija mantra. That Kling Shrim means, basically it is the Shrim is generally used for the bhav of the gopis or Radharani. And Klim is the root. So that is why it invokes the auspiciousness, just like the word Om, Om Janmadiyasya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So that invokes auspiciousness. So the Klim is also an auspiciousness, just to draw the attraction of the gopis of the Mahabhav in that ras. So Klim of Bij. So who imparted that Bij? So that was imparted by Krishna. Klim Shrim Bija Prema Ko Vardak. That Bij, or that Prema Ko Vardak, that Prem, that pure, pristine love was imbibed by Sri Krishna through the flute in the hearts of the gopis. And Gopi Chitta Samarpita Mohana Vivala Bhavasanim, giving up everything, they gave up their consciousness, their chitta to Sri Krishna, Vivala Bhavasanim, and they became very, very restless just simply hearing the flute of Sri Krishna. Ghar Parivar Bisar Gai Gopi, they simply forgot their family. This is exactly what Krishna is saying in this verse, that you have given up Vedic regulations and your family relationships. Sagri Bhaga Chali. Sagri means all of them. They immediately left their homes and they started running towards the forest. Bandhu, Pita, Pati, Bhai, Barjita. Giving up their relatives, Bandhu, Pita, giving up their fathers or their father-in-laws. Pati, their husband. Bhai, their brothers. Barjita, giving up. Mane na eka kalim, and they're not listening to anything. They are intoxicated with the love of Sri Krishna, initiated through the sound of the flute vibration that came into the ears. Krishna is still far away. He is in Vamshivat playing the flute. In the Sarat Purnima night, in the middle of the night, he's far, but that sound vibration. That is why this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is non-different from the flute and the initiation of the Kam Gayatri that was received by Lord Brahma. Actually, it is even much more than that, we can say, but we can at least compare that Krishna Prem can re-manifest in our hearts to the highest extent when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It is indeed that Gayatri, it is indeed that mantra, it is that Prem, Klim Shrim Prem of Govardak. That Klim Shrim Prem of Govardak is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. From a deeper sense, if we try to understand that Prema Vardak, Vardak means to increase that love. The more we chant, the more we think about Krishna, the more our Krishna Prem will increase. The more our attraction to Krishna consciousness will increase. Like that. Vrinda Vipinda Niraka Yamuna Tata Kunja Me Krishna Dhani, and going to the banks of the Yamuna by the banks Kunja Me Krishna Dhani, and in Krishna, the only husband that we have is the real husband is Sri Krishna. So ultimately, that is what it is. Even though the gopis were married, but they were all actually expansions of Krishna. The original supreme husband is Sri Krishna. And in the Venu Geet and the discussion that happens in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna is telling them, as described also in this particular song, where he says that Tum Abhilasha Kahori Gopi, you have come here now. What's your desire? Tell me. Hasata hilora bhari. Hilora means shaking, putting his hands on his waist, and kaho kaho. What is it that you want? So he's trying to make fun of them. And he's saying, what is the reason why you are here? What is your desire? Mana anukula karu kya tero? Do you want me to do as you please? Mana anukula karo kya tero? This is Vraj Bhasha. Whatever is conducive to do, shall I do to you? So he's perhaps talking, in little secret tones about having a romantic affair with them. So this is very high subject matters, I Aranyapari, that you have come in this jungle. There is the reason that you have come to see this single unmarried boy, a brahmachari. What is your desire? So like that, he's putting them in a very, very bad spot. That is the bhav of this particular 8th verse. Ashlishyapadaritam pinastumam adarshanam marma harto karotua yatha tathava vidato lampato mat prananath sevana para. Can you imagine? First of all, Krishna is calling them. It's like somebody calls you. How bad one will feel. Supposing if someone says that, my dear friends, next Sunday, please come to my home for prasad. And we will have some nice prasad, and we will have some nice, kirtan and katha. And then come Sunday morning, the time is at 11 a.m. And then everybody is ringing the doorbell. And then if we don't open the door, how bad they will feel. And then you open the door and say, why have you come here? That would be so devastating, that feeling. It would be so insulting. But we have to be ready to bear those insults. That is what this Krishna conscious movement of Mahaprabhu's movement is. Here is a message for all sadhaks, that we have to be, before the prerequisite, if you really want Krishna Prem, then Trinadapi Sunichena Taro Iva Saishnama Manena Manedena Kirtanya Sadari. We went through those verses. So this is very important. Are we ready to give that highest sacrifice? Even if we are trampled or whether we are embraced. That is the point here, based on this Vraj Bhasa bhajan that we are trying to connect here. Vrajamahu Subhaga Kushala Hayali. Is everything okay in your homes? Krishna is now still further making fun of them. That you have come in the middle of the night. Like sometimes if you find somebody knocking at your door in the middle of the night, the first question you will ask is everything okay? Because in the middle of the night, who will come? So Krishna is asking, in spite of him calling them, he's saying, is everything okay that in your homes? क्यों री आई गई? Why have you come here? मन अनुकूल, मन अनुकूल, सॉरी, शिशु सास पति ढूंढत होंगे, रात में देर भई. Your children, your little Shishu. Shishu means your infants. So we can imagine some of the gopis had newborns. They had newborn kids, infants, Shishu. And the specific word is being used, Shishu. So Shishu, that means they did not even care about the feeding, or because the Shishu or the infant feeds on the mother's breast milk. So here Krishna is specifically talking to those gopis who had little young babies. Shishu Sasa. Your little babies might be trying to find you because they are hungry. Sasa pati dhundat honge. Your mother-in-law, your pati, your husband, they may be trying to find you. Raat mein der bhai. It is so late. So go back. Khet karvat, Vraj jao gopi. Turn around and go back to Vraj. Go back. Dunya kahi kahi. What will the world say? What will what will happen? They will kind of demean you in the society. They will start talking about you, the society. What will the world say? Dunya kahi kahi. Nishthur vakya suni sab gopi sujabhuta jata rahi. Nishthur vakya. Hearing such harsh words. So the thing is, are we ready to bear those harsh words of Sri Krishna? So in order to get that gopi prem, we have to be prepared for it. It is not for everybody's stomach. Not everybody can digest it. Yes, my dear devotees, this is the bhav. And as we, excuse me, Hare Krishna. As we dive deeper, these realizations will manifest. We will understand that this Krishna prem is not ordinary. There's a lot of sacrifices. Nishtura Vakya Suni. You have to hear, just like Krishna, whether you embrace us or you kick us, or whether you appear in front of us or you disappear in front of us. Nishtur, and whether you give us bad words or you say whatever you please. Nishtur Vakya Sunim Sab Gopi. Suja Bhuta Jat Rahi. They completely lost their consciousness. They lost their thinking, feeling, and willing, all those powers. The way Krishna treated them so badly. A Chaitana Shunya Bhai Sab Gopi. A Chaitana Shunya means their consciousness became zero, as if they fainted. Sudbhut. Sudbhut means, sometimes when you are in a shock, you cannot think straight. Like somebody is in shock and you're trying to tell them something, come have a glass of water, or please, come have a meal. Or, when they're in such a shock, nothing goes inside. They simply stare or they simply cry. Sudbhuta, 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 Bhai Gopi, go in the Pavapari. And they fell at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So this is the bhav. This is the same bhav. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who has already obtained the bhav of Radharani, is falling at the lotus feet of Krishna by saying that, you know what? Do as you please with me. Mat prananathasya eva na paro para. So this is the thing about the 8th verse of of the Shri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. So like this, there are so many other things. I think this will be continuing in our several other sessions, because this is the last verse and the nectar and the highest crescendo. So I will stop here now. Next week we will actually, I said that I will take up Bhaktivinoda Thakur's bhajan, his explanation on the Gitavali, song number 7, and song 1, song number 8, which is Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, and song 1. There are 2 songs in it. So we'll try to complete as much as possible in the next week. But since it's 8 p.m. now, I stop here. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Chaitanya Shikshashtakam ki jai. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Nama Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. So, Prabhu, now you can, I would invite our Anup Prabhu for the closing statement. Hare Krishna. Anuprabhu, you are muted.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. Thank you very much. On behalf of Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Group, I thank all the devotees for attending today's session. So today on week 22nd of discussion on Shri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, we are discussing verse 8, and we will continue next week as well on verse 8. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for nicely explaining verse 8, and it was an excellent lecture as usual. One thing I took with me, let's remind ourselves what we have forgotten, the Harinam. So let's continue with the Harinam Sankirtan and bless our life with the divine that is in the Harinam or the Hare Krishna Nam. A couple of announcements. Wednesday, August 4th is Kamika Ekadasi. Please fast from beans and greens. Thursday, August 5th is the Dwadasi Paran, or the breaking of the Ekadasi fast from 6:11 a.m. to 7:42 a.m. Saturday, August 7th at 11 a.m. we are having our Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Group picnic. So thank you very much for those who RSVP'd, and we will let them know about the details of the program. We'll create a WhatsApp group and for temporary group and communicate all the information to them. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Now we'll open the forum for any questions or reflections. Thank you very much, everybody.
So Anuprabhu, thank you so much for the announcement. Asim Prabhu also, thank you so much. We are looking forward to the association of the devotees in person on next Saturday. And as Anuprabhu said, we will be forming a temporary WhatsApp group related to the picnic. Just in case if somebody has any questions or any further details are required, then we are here to serve you. Asim Prabhu, Anup Prabhu, and this servant of the Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Group is always available for any kind of questions, queries, and it would be really a nice experience for all of us. Uh, Association of devotees is very important, and of course we are meeting on Zoom and everything, but the personal association has it does have a long lasting impact, and that is why sadhu sangha sarva shastra koi lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Just by merely associating with devotees, we can obtain all the perfections, and that is the goal. Our Bhaktivedanta Bhagavad Group has a very humble beginning. Few devotees, that's fine. We are not here into the number game. We don't want any. It's the quality that we are interested in, and everybody is welcome, to join, as long as we have a very pure motive. As Srila Prabhupada says, purity is the force, utility is the principle, books are the basis. So our basis is Prabhupada's books. Whatever we say, whatever we speak, and and we just want to give Srila Prabhupada to everyone in a sincere way. Uh, so that's the only goal that we have, and hopefully we can, once this COVID is past its dangerous state, uh, we can perhaps do our programs in person. We can have a lot like we do at Namhatta, or in we can actually do it in the homes of the devotees. We can rotate. Thereby, we can have this personal touch and association. Ultimately, that's what we will be doing and should be doing. So, thank you. So, any questions about whatever we took home again? One more thing, Anuprabhu, I wanted to mention. What you mentioned today is good. That the importance of the Harinam. But are we prepared in this particular verse? This is the most important thing that we need to take along with the importance of Harinam, is what kind of sacrifice are we willing to give? This love that Krishna Prem is beyond law, beyond all kinds of sacrifices, beyond the heavenly planets, beyond the Vaikuntha planets, beyond any normal circumstances. The kind of sacrifice and the tolerance and everything that is that is even beyond imagination. Are we ready for that? And then that is the litmus test to enter actually into the Mahaprabhu's inner circle. Ah, this is there is the key. This is the most important, and that is why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam Sahasresu Kaschid Yatati Siddhai. That Siddhi means perfection when we attain the service of Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is who? Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha and Krishna. The service with their internal associates. That is Siddhi. When we obtain, that is Siddhi, when we obtain the lotus feet of such devotees who are devoted to the service of Radha Krishna. Shri Rupa Manjari Pada, Shei Mora Sampada, Shei Mora Bhajana Pujana, Shei Mora Pranadhana, Shei Mora. Like that, Narottam Das Thakur sings this, and it is the favorite bhajan of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That is my Siddhi, the lotus feet of Rup Manjari. And Rup Manjari is one of the most, Pran Sakhis. The Manjari is very dear in very intimate association and devotion and service of Srimati Radharani. So that Kasti Yadati Siddha here, Bhagavad Gita has got a lot of Rasik information. But again, it has to be heard but from Rasik Vaishnavas, their meanings. So that Siddhi means everybody, many people can obtain Vasudev Krishna, Vasudev Sarvamiti Samatma Sudurlabh. He says that. So many can obtain Vaikuntha, where the Vasudev Krishna is. But here there is a secret that Vasudev Krishna himself says that that Siddhi, a Manushyanam Sahasreshu, out of millions and millions, Sahasreshu, Kaschid. Kaschid means out of them, perhaps one. Kaschid Yatati Siddhe. One, very few can obtain those Siddhis. So that Siddhi means the topmost perfection. Not the Siddhis where one can have yogic power and some magical things. Some people label them as Siddhis. But this is the Siddhi of all the Siddhis. The perfection of all the perfection. Service of the lotus feet of Sri Radha. Service of the lotus feet of Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayo Das Anudas Anudas. That means the service, obtaining the service of Radharani's servants. This is Siddhi. These are some of the secrets that we find in all these verses as we go through in detail. So we will continue next one. Anybody has any questions? Please open up the microphone. Any comments?
Prabhuji, thank you. Yes. I know I am fallen. I am not that elevated. So whatever you said, like just knowing that what we have forgotten, the Harinam is not. So what we have to sacrifice, that's very important. And for me, at current stage, I feel like it doesn't matter to me how many rounds I do now. It matters to me the consciousness. At least the most important thing from this Shikshashtakam for me is Tunadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Saisnona Manana Manana Kirtanadi Sadahari. That means like we should be humble enough. We should not criticize anybody. We should not we should respect all the kinds of Vaishnavas, whatever we feel like if somebody is devoted, then we should have respect and we should be very humble.
Yes.
That's the most important thing I have taken and the consciousness before, like everybody is doing Harinam, but if we don't have that consciousness, it doesn't matter how many times, how many rounds we do. If somebody has that consciousness, if he does once, or if he doesn't do any, like the Bhakta Salavega, he may not have heard Krishna's name, but when he asked for Jagannath that I want to visit, I want to see you, stop there wherever you are, Jagannath, stop. That kind of consciousness is very important, and we should keep that in mind, and we should learn for that. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Yeah. No, what you are saying is 100% true. Based on our level, we are all fallen. But what I was trying to say is that along with the whole Shikshashtakam is all about the Mahamantra. It is about the holy name. But every verse has a specialty. And I was just trying to bring that, highlight that point, that our humility, our sacrifice should be so great. Like you mentioned the third verse, Trinadapi Sunichena, that it is even so beyond law, beyond everything. We have to be prepared for the worst. Even like the example, what worse example can we have that the gopis are feeling right in front of their eyes when Krishna is embracing another gopi and kissing another gopi. How Radharani is feeling. That is the worst feeling. So even that kind of tolerance, this is even beyond, we can say in one sense, beyond the tolerance of a tree. you know, this is almost impossible for us. But the thing is, if our, like you said, consciousness, if our consciousness and our desire is built on what information we receive, and once we receive a certain information which is of very great value, then we should try to keep it in our hearts, although we may not be able to attain it right away. It may take us millions of lifetimes to attain it, but at least we will be on the right path. We are aiming for the highest, and nothing, just like the chatak bird. If you all remember, in the last verse I had described what a chatak bird is. Rup Goswami has a wonderful verse that a chatak bird is the only bird that that doesn't take any water, drink any water from any lake or river, or water that is on the ground, by putting its beak, like many birds, how when they are thirsty, no matter how thirsty it is almost coming to the point of dying, but it will put its beak open like this and wait for the rainwater. Only the rainwater will quench its thirst. It will not accept anything else. So we have to be like chatak birds. That's what Rup Goswami is recommending. We have to be like those chatak birds, that we will accept the best of the best, because that is what Mahaprabhu is. The Mahaprabhu, there is nothing beyond Mahaprabhu, nothing beyond that, because Krishna himself has obtained that pure bhakti which even he was hankering, which he obtained, as we see in the 7th and 8th verses of the Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. So,
Right.
what I want everyone is to, of course, there is a lot of general things. The holy name can even take you to Vaikuntha. But again, we want to be like that chatak bird. We want the lotus feet of Radha Krishna. We want the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So these are some of the important points, along with the Harinam. Without Harinam, it's not possible. But along with the Harinam, our consciousness, and that is what I want everybody to remember, what our consciousness is and how our consciousness should evolve. Otherwise, we will always, Harinam is always beneficial. Like in the case of Ajamil, knowingly or unknowingly, in Nam Abha stage, or in Shuddhanam, or in Harinam will give the benefit. But again, our goal is to become like chatak birds. So that is what it is. So thank you,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anup Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, yes, that's exactly. So like if our consciousness is not that, then Harinam is very important, because it can cleanse ourselves, and that can take you to that stage.
Yes.
So definitely Harinam has everything in it. So when I say consciousness is very important, I try to say like, yes, whatever stage you are, make yourself pure. That's what I meant to. Yeah, if you are not enough, like you don't have that enough devotion, then Harinam, do Sankirtan, and it will someday it will take you to that. We are very fallen. One thing I took it from the introduction of Bhagavatam. It says we don't know what is happening inside our body. We are so fallen. Let me read that. So an imperfect living being doesn't even know what is happening within our own personal body. We eat. So when a living being is perfect, he is aware of everything that happens. And since the Supreme Person is all perfect, it is quite natural that he knows everything in all detail. Consequently, the perfect personality is addressed in the Srimad Bhagavatam as Vasudev, or one who lives everywhere in full consciousness and in full possession of his complete energy. So that kind of thing, we have fallen. We don't know what is happening within us. So we have to elevate to a stage to understand all those things. That's great.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Nice input. Thank you for reading that part from Srila Prabhupada's introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I think Hari Prabhu wanted to say something. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everybody. All the devotees. So one thing it came to my mind is that on the day of picnic, I think let's do about 45 to 1 hour of Harinam Sankirtan, if time permits. About 40, about 45 minutes.
Harihar Prabhu, we
Yeah.
have a different group and forum to discuss about the picnic. We had a meeting last week and we will have another meeting next Friday. So we can discuss what we want to do, how we want to do, and we can do it out of this forum, I think.
Yeah, that's fine. But
Harihar Prabhu, we do plan on doing Kirtan.
Yeah, this is just
already on the flyer. If you see.
okay.
So we will be
Okay.
spending sufficient time, for Kirtan Katha. I would say at least about 2 hours complete,
Yeah, that would be really great.
Yeah, we will do that.
Because in person, since you're meeting, you should have, that's a good idea. And one thing more I'm going to tell is, as Prabhuji said about World Parliament of Religion, the centenary was held in 1993.
1999.
99, but I think, but parallelly, what I'm going to tell is, parallelly, there was a World Congress of Religion and Science. Like it's almost the same thing, but about half a dozen of novelists participated in that. I had a chance to participate in one of the World Congress of Religion and Science held in Calcutta around mid-90s.
Okay.
And that's where I met Jai Pataka Swami.
Okay.
And ISKCON had participated in that, and that was really very well attended. All the topmost scientists and about half a dozen novelists, like who got really the blessings of the Almighty. I remember one scientist, just one novelist. In fact, he explained that about something he was thinking, worried about for years, and everything came in a second. He was just taking a step inside his city bus, and he got everything. So I was just trying to mention about that. There is a World Congress of Religion and Science. The people like scientists and all the devotees from all sects of religion, they participate there. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Okay,
like another point is, number of rounds, it matters, but somewhere in Satchitananda Charitamrita is mentioned that you should take it in 100% mind and concentration and wholeheartedly. एक बार नाम लेते, मतलब once you taking a Harinam for once, if you take it from heart, that even takes away your sins of several lives. So when Anup, whatever he said, and that's true, numbers matters, but not that much. If you really take Harinam from your inside, from the core of your heart, that erases a lot of your bad karma and sins of several lives. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Actually, Mahaprabhu had recommended to have a certain discipline and with a certain number of rounds. Even the Chhada Goswami in the Ashtakam, it is mentioned, of the Rup Sanatan Goswamis, etc. Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana. So Sankhya Purvak means by counting. So that brings about a certain discipline. But of course, counting means best is along with the counting of the rounds, whatever rounds we do, we have to do them with the with good quality. Even Prabhupada mentioned that every time Prabhupada initiated somebody, and even today in ISKCON, when they do give the Harinam initiation, they ask two basic questions. What are the four regulative principles? So there are no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. So the devotee who is taking Harinam Diksha is supposed to say that in public. Guru will ask, and following in the footsteps of Prabhupada. And the second question is how many rounds you will chant every day. So the answer that most devotees give is 16 minimum rounds. But what Prabhupada had said is 16 minimum good rounds. This is a very important thing that Prabhupada mentioned with good. So, so we have to be that conscious. I always try to highlight that point, even in ISKCON, that yeah, we all know that 16 rounds, if you're going to get initiated, that is a vow. It's a vrata that you're taking, minimum. But Prabhupada says 16 minimum good rounds. So that most people sometimes are missing. Some of the important words of an acharya, you have to catch them. It might be just one word, but it is so important that it will make our spiritual life perfect. So Prabhupada says 16 minimum good rounds. And I always lay stress when I get the opportunity, since we are discussing about Harinam and the count. Yes, the count is not that important, but Mahaprabhu has said Sankhya Purvaka Nama. We have to take it according to some Sankhya. So you set your own pace. So 2 rounds a day, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 16 rounds, 64. Like Namacharya Haridas Thakur used to chant 3 lakh names. That's 64 plus 64 plus 64 rounds is 1 lakh approximately, because 64 into 16, so that is approximately 100 lakh, 100,000 names. So Haridas Thakur, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the name Namacharya Haridas Thakur, he was chanting every day 64 times 16 times 108. That is 1,10,592 multiplied by 3. So he used to chant 330,000 names a day, over 3 lakh names a day. And that would used to take him about a good 18 hours. So everybody has to set their own pace and their own quality. Quality is the best thing, no doubt, because Harinam is the live mantra, and the consciousness is very important. The more we practice properly and the more respect we show to it, the more it will reciprocate with us. Just like any other friendship. Supposing if you are very nice to somebody, that person is naturally inclined to be nice to you, and vice versa. And the more nice you are, the more nicer that person is. And it breeds more niceness to higher levels. Same way with Harinam. Harinam is like that. And that is why the ashra is very important. And I'm so happy that somehow or the other that energy came to me, and that enthusiasm, that I was able to do 22 sessions on. I never imagined. This is the first time in my life I've given many lectures by the mercy of Guru Gauranga, but never like this I was able to speak on Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. I've given a 3-hour lecture once before, many years ago, about 10 years ago, 8 years ago in Toronto. But other than that, I never have, because I always felt that anytime I was meditating on these verses, I can never do justice in half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Even with all these sessions, today I thought I will finish Bhaktivinoda Thakur's at least one bhajan. But some of the other, things are just. So I'm hoping that you all are feeling something out of this, out of all the sessions that we are meeting.
But Prabhuji, at the same time, it's also mentioned that Manusher sadhanai jato paap kare, exactly I'm forgetting. He ek bar naam loite ato hoye.
Yeah, it is true that man cannot commit that many sins as much as the one name of the holy name can eradicate all those sins. Yes, it is that. All this you are saying is there applicable in all kinds of theism, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu beyond. Even if it is not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even if it is, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very special. What you are mentioning is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I understand, but even Tulsidas mentions is in the Ramayana. He also says the same thing. So my point is, we have a specialty of Mahaprabhu which none of the others can offer. That's what I'm saying. So what you're saying is correct. What Anup Prabhu is saying is correct. But these are already general pillars of bhakti. But that can apply to a Ram Bhakta, it can apply to Narayan Bhakta, it can apply to Krishna Bhakta. But certain things that we are discussing here in this forum of the Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, and those of you have been very attentive, then you will because one of the things that I prefer, if you all can, especially sometimes you all make a very good announcement, but sometimes you all miss the previous verse's real essence. So I encourage you all to actually grab the essence, especially what the verse is saying, what that verse is, rather than just speak generally on the holy name. The holy name is the main essence of Chaitanya Shikshashtakam. But what is the main essence of what we discussed? And that is one of the things sometimes I am more enthusiastic when persons are encouraged to ask me questions on that particular topic that we have discussed. And that requires some additional attention, which I understand that because the lectures are sometimes long, that attention span can contract a little bit. But that is why we have our website, we have the lectures, and if somebody is really serious, they can listen to the recordings. If you have missed a lecture, sometimes some person is not available on a particular Sunday, so that the entire link is established, and we can understand the purpose behind each and every verse, because Mahaprabhu has a specific reason why he spoke what. Yeah, because Harinam, if you look in Bhagavatam, there are so many chapters that simply describe the glories of Harinam, especially in the conversation between the Yamdutas and the Vishnudutas in the sixth canto, chapter number 1, 2, 3. It's full of the glories of Harinam. So Harinam. So what you all are saying is correct. But what I would prefer, if you honestly ask me, be more enthused upon what Mahaprabhu is specifically touching on. That would be that would be very, very more interactive and more encouraging to each other. So thank you. I know we all have to go. Even I have to go. I want to,
Yeah.
but Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna, Hare
I
Krishna.
see that there are a few sincere devotees. Please don't mind this little piece of advice that I'm giving. Try to concentrate on what we are speaking, and make it nice on that subject matter, rather than talking about many other things that are relevant. I'm not saying they're not relevant, but if we are more specific, then our homework will be pakka. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Shri Prabhupada. Before I go, anybody else, just out of curiosity, anybody else wants to say anything? We just, I think, have Gopal Prabhu. The rest of them have left. So, all right then. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you very soon, in person. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Prabhupada.